For most of us, birthdays feel normal. A celebration of life. A day full of candles, cakes, gifts, and pictures. But what if I told you? The tradition of celebrating birthdays didn't come from Scripture, but from ancient pagan worship, astrology, and the exaltation of self. And what if I told you that not a single righteous follower of Yahuah in Scripture ever celebrated a birthday? And the only birthdays mentioned in the Bible were connected to death, idolatry, and judgment? Today, we're going to look at what birthdays really are, where the tradition came from, and whether followers of Yahuah should celebrate them. This is not about culture, not about opinions, not about emotions. This is about truth. Open your Bible. You will not find one example, not one righteous man or woman of Yahuah who celebrated a birthday. Not Abraham, not Moses, not David, not the prophets, not the disciples, not Yahusha, not once. The Bible only mentions 2 birthday celebrations. First, Pharaoh, whose birthday celebration ends with the hanging of the chief baker. We can read it in Genesis 40 verses 20 to 22. Second, Herod, whose birthday party ends with the beheading of John the Baptist. This story is found in Matthew 14 verses 6 to 11. Both pagan rulers, both wicked kings, both celebrations ending in death. Think about that. The only birthday celebrations found in Scripture are tied to pagan kings and bloodshed. Is that a coincidence? Or is Yahuah showing us something? To understand why believers never practice birthdays, we have to look at history. And this is where things get uncomfortable. Birthdays began in ancient Egypt, Babylon, Greece, Rome, and every one of these civilizations believed the same thing. A birthday was not a celebration of life. It was a spiritual ritual inviting protective spirits, connected to astrology and the gods. Yes, birthdays were originally astrology-based ceremonies. Here's what ancient cultures believed. The day you were born, a protective spirit or demon attached to you. On your birthday each year, that spirit was honored. Candles were lit to guide spirits. Gifts were offerings to the protective deity. Astrologers chose lucky days based on the position of the sun. Does that sound biblical or something else? This is why early followers of Yahusha refused to celebrate birthdays for the first 300 years. They considered birthday celebrations pagan, superstitious, and unclean. Even early historians recorded that only pagans celebrated birthdays, never Israelites. For one simple reason: it puts the focus on self instead of Yahuah. When you examine pagan birthday rituals, the central theme was self-exaltation, personal fortune, astrology, destiny, luck, magic. But Scripture says, "Let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me." Jeremiah 9 verses 23 to 24. Birthdays teach us, it's my day. I deserve special treatment. I get gifts. I get praise. I get attention. I get celebration. But Yahusha said, "If any man will come after me, let him deny himself." Matthew 16 verse 24. Birthdays do the opposite. They magnify self, not the Creator. Many Christians celebrate Christmas as his birthday, even though Scripture never gives us the date. Not once. Why? Because birthdays weren't something Hebrews practiced. They didn't record them. They didn't celebrate them. They didn't mark them. The focus in Scripture is always on his life, his teachings, his death, his resurrection, not his birth. Even when angels announced his coming, there is no command to celebrate his birthday annually, and certainly not with pagan customs. This is where the emotional side comes in. Parents want memories, photos, joy, traditions, and there's nothing wrong with honoring your child's life, showing love, celebrating who they are, but you don't need pagan rituals to do that. Nothing stops you from spending quality time, speaking blessings, praying over them, sharing milestones, taking them somewhere special, making a family day, without engaging in the pagan customs behind birthdays. Candles, wishes, astrology, dates, fortune-telling, spirit guidance, symbolism. These are the parts believers avoid. We are called to be set apart, different, holy. Yahuah said, "Learn not the way of the heathen." Jeremiah 10 verse 2. Birthdays aren't sinful because of celebration, but because of where the tradition comes from and what it symbolizes spiritually. This is the question everyone wants answered. Here's the truth. Celebrating your existence? Fine. Honoring Yahuah for giving you life? Absolutely. Spending time with loved ones? Beautiful. But adopting rituals that come from astrology, spirit-invoking, pagan ceremonies, and self-exaltation? No. Remember, Yahuah's people are called to be different. And Yahusha said, "In vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men." Matthew 15 verse 9. The question isn't, is it fun? Or, what will people think? The question is, does it honor Yahuah? Or does it honor pagan traditions? When you see birthdays through that lens, the answer becomes clear. The enemy doesn't always tempt through obvious sin. Sometimes he tempts through traditions, wrapped in innocence, covered with harmless fun. But when we peel back the layers, the roots matter, the origin matters, the foundation matters. And once you know the truth, you are accountable for it. As Yahusha said, "If ye know these things, happy are ye if ye do them." John 13 verse 17. The truth isn't always comfortable, but it is always freeing. If you've celebrated birthdays your whole life, don't feel shame. Yahuah meets us where we are, but he calls us higher. This is about learning, growing, and choosing obedience over tradition. If this message opened your eyes, share it. Someone needs to hear this.